back with Bedtime Stories, Grown-Up Edition. As y'all see, it's not quite bedtime, but I'm lazy, so it's bedtime for me. This is What You Owe Me, part 11. And I know the suspense has just been killing y'all. So when we left off, Marcus has left for his trip. Marcus, not LJ, I misspoke. Angela and Regina have had a conversation where Angela has learned that Wesley, the covert investigator, was able to find out exactly what flight Marcus and Jessica was going to be on, and he was able to get a ticket for that same flight. After Angela and Regina finish their call, Angela decides that she's going to go into her business and handle her business. Meanwhile, at the airport, Marcus and Jessica have arrived separately. They've got their boarding passes and checked their bags separately. They've gone through TSA separately. They've even boarded the plane separately. However, they're sitting together in first class. As they're sitting there, Wesley, who's traveling under a pseudonym and wearing a costume of sorts, passes them and sits in the seats right behind them. As is typical for a private investigator, he begins to record their conversation. Jessica says to Marcus, "She has to be the dumbest woman in the world." Marcus says, "Jessica, stop it. We're on this trip. Let's focus on us. Let's not talk about my wife and my marriage, okay?" Jessica says, "Okay, that's fine. I just have one more question. How did she take the news about not being able to have the IVF transfer?" Marcus looks at her and says, "Who told you that?" Jessica says, "Well, you told me that she had the appointment, so it got canceled, right?" Marcus looks at her and says, "No, it didn't get canceled. That shouldn't be any of your concern, though." Jessica says, "What do you mean it didn't get canceled? So she's still going to go through that transfer without you being there?" Marcus says, "Let's not talk about my wife and my marriage. We're going on this vacation. Let's enjoy one another, okay?" Jessica says, "Fine, but before we take off, I promised Melissa that we would FaceTime her." At the same time, Angela's on her way to the office, and she decides to go ahead and call the attorney that LJ recommended. "Whitmire, Langley and Associates, this is Brielle. How may I help you?" Angela says, "Yes, I'm trying to reach an attorney, Lauren Langley." Brielle says, "Yes, no problem. Please hold." "Whitmire, Langley and Associates, this is Lauren." Angela says, "Yes, hello, Lauren. My name is Angela. I was referred by my friend Elle." And Lauren says, "By Lawrence. Yes, I have been waiting for your call. I'm really sorry for all that you are currently enduring, but I'm really glad to have the opportunity to assist you. Lawrence has given me some information about what it is that is going on, and I'm glad to be able to give you some direction." Angela says, "Wait, Lawrence. Is this LJ's big sister, Lauren?" Lauren says, Angela, is this little Angie Spencer?" Angela says, "Oh my goodness, Lauren, I didn't realize you were an attorney." Lauren says, "Oh my goodness, LJ did not tell me that it was you. He said Angela Washington. I would have never guessed." And Angela said, "Same. He said Langley. I would have never guessed. I knew you as Lauren Johnson." Right. So they laugh, and then Lauren says, "All right, this is not a no-fault divorce state. That means that whatever you want, you are going to have as a result of Marcus's poor decisions. But whether you get a divorce or not is 100% completely up to you. If you do decide to divorce, the only hiccup that I can foresee is the embryos. Because this state treats those embryos as property, they are equally the property of both you and your husband. They can't be divided in half. They can't be sold and the proceeds divided in half. So some decisions are going to have to be made, and it can turn into a really lengthy, difficult, ugly battle." I'm also aware of the fact that he's currently on a trip. So what I want to do is get some more information from the investigators in relation to that trip, and then you and I sit down and have a meeting to go over everything and kind of talk preliminarily about what your options are. How does that sound to you? Angela says, "Actually, that sounds great. I'm really not in a position right now to make any kind of decisions." Lauren says, "So how does next Friday at 10 a.m. sound?" Angela says, Actually, that sounds pretty good. At that moment, Angela pulls up outside of her business. She parks her car. She ends her call with Lauren. She heads inside and she starts her day. Meanwhile, on the flight, Jessica starts FaceTiming someone named Melissa. And in that exact same moment, Marcus's cell phone rings. When he looks down, it's his mother, Miss Brenda. Marcus says if I don't answer this, she's just going to keep calling and calling. At the same time as he answers the phone, the FaceTime connects on Jessica's phone. Marcus says, "Good morning, Mom." Melissa says, "Mommy, Daddy." Miss Brenda says, "Boy, where are you? And whose baby is that?" LJ disconnects the call. Jessica is unfazed. She looks over at her daughter and she says, "Hey, baby, here we are." And she points the phone to Marcus, who's sitting there with the deer in the headlights look on his face. Jessica says, "Are you having fun with your abuela?" Melissa says, "Yes, Mommy. I wanted to come with you and Daddy." Wesley starts choking on his juice, sitting behind Marcus and Jessica, hearing this baby call Marcus Daddy. Marcus's phone begins to ring again with his mother on the caller ID. And Marcus says to Melissa, "Baby, we love you. We'll call you when we land." And he reaches over and hangs up Jessica's phone. Jessica turns to him angrily and says, "Why would you hang up on our baby? Your mother can wait." Marcus says, "Unless you want hell to come raining down on your head, my mother cannot wait." Marcus answers and says, "Oh man, sorry, Mom. I'm on this plane and you know how the connection can be." His mother says, "Where are you going? And whose baby was that?" Marcus says, "Mom, I'm going on a work trip and I don't know whose baby it was. Some kid talking to their parent on another aisle." His mother says, "A work trip? A work trip where?" Marcus says, "This little island off the coast of Aruba. It's where one of our plants are, Mom. It's the work trip." "Oh, really? And who all's going on this work trip?" "Well, me and several of the members of our team and..." "Well, which members of your team, son? Because I called your office and it sounded like everybody else was in the office." "Mom, you don't know everybody in my office." "Mom, what's with all of the questions?" "Well, son, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Your wife has these important appointments at the doctor. You're not going to the appointments. Now I'm hearing you're going to Aruba. Something is rotten in the buttermilk." Marcus says, Mom, please. You're overreacting. It's really not." His mother says, "I'm what? What you say, boy? You better watch it now. Let me tell you something. I'm not stupid. I know something's going on. Something's been going on for the past couple of years. And if you're not careful, you're going to something's going on yourself right out of a wife. Now, it's 3 things I know for sure that will not stay hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. You're going to have to start telling the truth, son." Marcus says, "Mom, I really don't have time for this. The plane is getting ready to take off. The flight attendants are telling us to power off our devices." His mother says, and there's another lie. If the flight attendant was telling you to power off your device, I'd hear the flight attendant telling you to power off your device. You and I need to have a conversation when you get back home, son. You have a safe trip."